Alright, let's start off with the first character in the list. It is Amber A. She dog water. We all know that. If you're an Amber main, you're a menace to society. Let's be honest here. You are a menace. Absolute Chad lad. A. What can I say? You're probably a masochist. You like pain. You like to suffer. It's just not for me. She's dog water. She's probably the only character that I would say if I had infinite resources, I wouldn't build anyways. Like, fam, what's wrong with you? No front. Anyways, starting off with this tier list, as you can see, Amber, welcome to my channel, by the way. I'm Ronaldo, and I'm gonna start off this channel with some Genshin content here. And why am I doing a tier list? Because I feel like most of the tier lists kinda are influenced by some whales that have C6 legends. I think legends should be rated at C0 and 4 stars maybe at C6. Now, why should I be the one who makes a great tier list? I'm telling you why. Because when everyone was trash talking my boy, I was reading his skills and I was like, damn, that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. Healing and boosting attack. You know what I was saying? That could be good. That could be good. Let me see. And everyone was trash talking my boy Bennett because his E skill knocked him back. They were like, oh, he's so dog water. Look at him now, standing on a throne since a year, still dominating everyone, still the best character in the game. They haven't found an anti-mechanic against him. They haven't found anyone who can power creep him. He's just the man, the myth, the legend, let's be honest. So what does make a great character? It's the stuff that Bennett has. A great character can do either one thing and this extremely well, or multiple things at once pretty well. For example, Bennett. He buffs your team extremely well. Actually, does quite a bit of damage with his ult if you build him. And he also heals your team really well. So that's with Bennett, and his ult has so high uptime and isn't even like 80 cost, which is crazy. Also another character that I was high on at the beginning, and everyone was like, he does everything, but everything kind of bad. I was like, he does everything, but everything good. You know what I'm saying? Is Ching Cho. Actually, I was a bit lucky with predicting that Ching Cho was gonna be a great character because he was my first 4-star, so I noticed that his range sword deal a lot of damage. I didn't know that the hydro application would be so great and so useful, but yeah, Ching Cho, such a great sub DPS, high hydro application, damage reduction, high damage on his own, and also a heal. The heal, yeah, is not really worth mentioning to be honest, but he is so good overall. Next up we have this guy, Traveler. He's kind of meh, I think actually. I'm also doing this tier list on estimated future. So I think Traveler could actually run up here because of Dendro. Dendro will probably be quite a game changer in the game, shape up the meta. And when Dendro comes out, there won't be many Dendro characters out, so you won't have many options other than this guy. You know him, the Traveler, who will be able to use Dendro. So maybe he will be good, but I probably guess that they won't like make him too powerful, otherwise it will diminish the returns on their sales. Yeah, I put all the travelers on B, high B tier. They're good. They're niche. B is niche, C is dog water. Okay. Um, God tier is God tier. God tier are characters that do one thing the best. S plus tier are super strong characters that will be still really viable in 1 year of time. And S tier are strong characters as well, but just not as strong as S plus. S tier, for example, Albedo, he got buffed. He's on the verge of S plus. He got buffed quite a bit this patch. Every YouTuber was hyping him up. So many Albedo salesmen on YouTube. It's crazy. So many salesmen. It was tempting to pull for him. I personally don't have him. My friend has him. He told me stuff about him. And he's great, don't get me wrong. The problem is in current meta teams, he doesn't really have a place to be in. He doesn't really have a place to be in other than in Chio teams. which is gonna be really strong with Utau, by the way. And overall, are quite strong, not gonna lie. They're kind of underrated. And physical teams. Other than that, elemental teams want someone else in Albedo. Why? Because in elemental teams you have the main DPS. For example, Utau, where is she? Where is she? Blah, blah, blah. Or Yoimiya, you have the main DPS. You have a support DPS that also enables her, like Shincho. That how does he enable her? Well, okay, not with Yoimiya that well, but with Utau. He enables with the consistent application of Hydro to deal your main to get your main DPS to deal a lot more damage, and also deals a lot damage on his own. That's how support DPSs enable actually the main DPS, you know. Then on third place, you could maybe say, okay, if I can't use him here, he won't be definitely won't be a main DPS. Support DPS, it can work, but the application of Hydro or some other stuff is just too good to look on, so he won't really be able to enable your main DPS as well as a Hydro character or a Cryo character and stuff or like that. So okay, third place. What's the third place gonna be? It's gonna be a Nemo character, usually. Now, you could say, okay, if you don't have an Nemo character, Albedo is fine with it, but if you have them, God tier Nemo characters. Where is Venti? Kazuha, my bad. There he is. Um, then you could say, okay, now, is he better than Venti or Kazuha? Definitely not, you know, definitely not. Is he better than Sucrose? Now, here's the argument that I have for you. Sucrose will reduce the resistance of the elements from the enemies. She will buff your EM, so she will boost your damage this way, and she will CC enemies, and she will buff your character's elemental damage if you have her C6 during her ult duration. So she does 4 things really well. Now Albedo does 3 things: damage, EM boost, no, 2 things: damage, consistent damage with his E, and elemental boost. So it's good, don't get me wrong, he's still good, but not with the elemental teams. Then Sucrose, I'm gonna do something a bit controversial here, and that is put Sucrose above Ching Cho, because I believe Sucrose is better than him. That's right, Sucrose is extremely strong, even though she gets used a bit less than Ching Cho in the Abyss. I think the reason why is because Shincho doesn't have as much competition as Sucrose does, you know? Um, Sucrose has competition with 2 of the best characters in the game, being Venti and Kazuha. Kazuha, next to Bennett, the strongest buffer in the game, and also does so many things at once. Venti is so good at one thing that they had to specifically nerf him by introducing more and more enemies that don't get sucked in by his vortex. Now, that explains a lot. Some competition Shincho has are, for example, Kokomi. Everyone hated her. I didn't pull for her either. She's just not my type of character. But she's a lot stronger than people think. Just like Albedo, they're both on the verge of S plus tier. She found a lot of use cases where also Shincho gets used. She found her, or Morgana gets used for her consistent Hydro application, but also some good healing with the corrosion as well. So she found her place in quite a few teams and actually isn't too bad at all, also with the new set. Who else is a competition for Shincho? For Hydro application? There we go. Mona. I think Mona is better, even though she gets useless. A highly invested Mona can just do so much damage with her ult. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Like you can just obliterate stuff with her, and I wish I had her. My whale friend has her, and yeah, she's great. Also, another competition for Hydro application. Where is she? Our favorite singer. There we go. Our favorite idol. She's in B tier. She only can heal. She also makes you wet, which really sucks against cryo characters. And her heal isn't really. Her heal is actually quite good, but She doesn't provide a lot. She doesn't. She only heals and that's it. You know. She doesn't provide anything else. So that's about Barbara. Who else is competition? No one, I think. Nah. Next up, what else we got? Shincho, Chong Yun. My bad. He's quite nice. If you have high investing in Chong Yun, he deals quite a lot of damage. There are some impressive Chong Yuns out there. Um, uh, I believe, in my opinion, if you have high constellations in a 4-star, go for it, you know. If you have high constellations in a 4-star, he's probably gonna be better than a higher tier 4-star without constellations. That's just my opinion. I think Chong Yun is yeah, he's great, but I don't think you're gonna see him much in 1 year of time because I think his damage potential just isn't as high as other characters. Then next up, Lisa, really niche character. Um, for physical DPS carries, she can provide a physical shred a bit and some superconduct, but that's basically it, you know. She's not. I wouldn't invest heavily in these characters in B tier, to be honest, but they have some niche cases. Then who else we can put on? Our favorite guitarist, and I was thinking about putting our Rockstar here in B tier, but I've seen an impressive video of a DPS one version, and damn, that spin to win looked so fun, and it did actually quite a impressive amount of damage. The problem is when you use her as a DPS, as a physical DPS, you need a cryo and a electro character as well, so you can apply superconduct, which you always want to have in a physical comp. That kind of sucks, but she's actually kind of fun. She's so dumb, you know. You just charge attack, spin to win. Yeah. Diona, top tier character, does multiple things at once as well. She has EM buff at C6. She has healing. She has shielding. She has lots of cryo application. Extremely good character. Definitely helps me in a lot of content as well. Fischl, she's great. Energy regen for electro character, you know, provides a lot of particles, deals quite an impressive amount of damage, but all single target. Kaya is one of the most underrated characters, in my opinion, but thus far is pretty much the most consistent cryo application in this game. Yeah, that's right. He is really consistent in cryo and works really well with some fire DPS, pyro DPS. Ningguang and Noel are up here. They're both great, especially with the recent Geo buffs. Noel, I'm gonna put her in S tier, you know, fuck it. I like her, I know. Actually, no, I put her in A tier because I think her max potential has been seen already. She just holds them back, you know. When new characters get added into the game, everyone benefits, just Chio doesn't really benefit that much from new characters. So I expect actually Chia to work well with Dendro, Earth, and plants should work well. Maybe we will see an increase in Chio then, and the meta change. Razor, low S tier. He's really greedy. He deals quite an impressive amount of damage if you have a high investment in him. You can get away with a lot of stuff. Also, Kaching, same here. Physical carry or electro carry. I have her. I just I'm just not so high on Kaching, to be honest. Jean, our grandmaster, our mommy, you know, she's good. She's actually quite underrated. She's fun to play when you throw the stuff in the air and stuff, you know. Um, but yeah, I actually have a list here with the characters in an order. but I'm not using it. Actually, I got it all in my head anyways. Um, who else we're gonna do next? Aloy, no constellations. Um, Kuchuzara is great with constellations, and with Raiden, just not as good as Bennett. That's just a fact. Rosaria, one of the most underrated character forces in my opinion, has great cryo application, gives you a crit boost, and deals decent amount of damage. So I like Rosaria. Yeah. Next up, we have Saiyu. She's an S tier solely because of her mobility in the overworld. I also rate overworld here a bit. So I also rate that like Venti's viability in daily missions is so good. Trust me. Like you have to kill 15 enemies. You pop that ult. Everyone dead. Everyone's dead. And then you throw 2 Klee bombs on the enemies, and everyone's dead. Boom. Easy dubs. It's crazy. Klee over Yoimi, lots of people won't like this, but I think Klee's AoE is underrated. And also in the overworld, the AoE is just great. When you see a few villagers, you throw a bomb, a charge attack, everyone's dead. If you have a daily mission, that's how I do daily missions. Pop Venti ult, throw a bomb, because her bombs actually reach into Venti's ult, and her charge attack, which also reaches into his ult, and everyone's dead. So overworld value is extremely good. She can clear Abyss really fast with a great team as well. Um, yeah, and her single target damage isn't too bad either. Yeah. Next up, Utau is up here. One of the best DPS in the game. We all know her. She's just like Klee, animation canceling. A lot of fun, in my opinion, if you're not on mobile, obviously. On mobile, it's a lot harder, but I think animation canceling and hard characters are, for me personally, a bit more fun. So is Utau. Lots of fun to play, and also really, really strong. And also I have in S plus tier here, I will have two basically rows of main DPS here. Some here and some here, and they're all pretty much on the same page. So these here are pretty much on the same page, and these here are pretty much on the same page. Ganyu, we all know her. She's also really strong. Her charge attacks are strong. Her ult is really nice cryo application and will have value in the future as well, even if she would get power crapped. So I value that. Then you have the strongest DPS in the game up on top. Yep, that's my opinion. Ayaka is the strongest DPS in the game. Her burst is crazy insane. You can also switch around and her burst keeps running. You can freeze enemies. You can actually put Ayaka in, throw her burst in, switch to Hu Tao, throw Hu Tao's burst in, and the clear is done in 3 seconds. That's the fastest Abyss clear. Or 6 seconds, as far as I know. With Hu Tao and Ayaka burst, and they're all dead. So, and Ayaka's burst is just crazy. If you look at speedruns, you will also see like these units are probably getting banned always. Like these are crazy strong units. Especially Ayaka, in my opinion, is the highest ban priority. But I'm not talking about speedruns and high constellations now. All right, next up, Beidou is still extremely strong. Super sub DPS, lots of fun, and I like her aesthetics. I definitely like her aesthetics. And also when you hit the perfect counter, it's really satisfying to hit the perfect counter. Chi-Chi is dog water, I'm not telling him much about her. Yanfei, pretty much the same as these as main DPS. She's great with high investment, just not as good as the S plus. Child is great, also just not broken, just a great character overall. I think these are the really nice characters that they should base on the strength on enemies. Also, Xiangling. Xiangling has really high viability with Child or with Raiden. Put Raiden in here. Yeah, because with the national team or with the child team with Zhong Li, she gets enabled really well because of Raiden's energy recharge or child's consistent hydro application if you use child, as main DPS. She also gets used in mono pyro because her constellations actually boost the pyro damage as well. And yeah, she's we all know she's great. Then Shao, strong character overall, lots of AoE damage. Doesn't have too many synergies, to be honest, because he's an emo damage dealer. His damage won't be increasing that much at this point. Um, but still a really strong character and also different, a lot different to other characters from his playstyle. So it's definitely fun playing him. Yeah, unlike Ganyu, who's just charge attack, charge attack. Who likes that? Nah, I personally don't like playing charge attacks. Everyone has their own opinion, obviously. Zhong Li, he's god tier, just like Venti. He's so strong at something that MiHoYo had to start adding counter abilities with the corrosion to counter his shield. That's how strong he is, just like Venti. They were both problems, They're a problem and a menace to the Genshin society. Yeah. All right. Now we're closing out, huh? With Thoma, I actually think he's quite strong. Definitely a strong character, strong shield. The thing that kind of sucks is his pyro application. Like, come on, fam. His pyro application isn't consistent. Because it's not consistent, it's actually bad that he even has pyro application. Because if you use him with someone like Utau and Ching Cho, you use him, you shield up, you wanna vape, and my man's pyro application ruins Utau's vape hit from her charge attack. So yeah, but overall his shield is actually quite strong, and the uptime as well. Now another controversial picks, oh two actually coming in. And these are the Luke. Boom. That's right, the Luke over these. Why is that? Because the Luke, I think, is one of the most underrated characters I've seen. Free to play Deluxe hit for 100,000 with her E and 200 to 300,000 with their ultimate. So I think he's really good. I think most of the whales trash him for no reason, but he's so strong if you use the right team. And I will do. I'm working on a Diluc team at the moment to make a best team showcase pretty much, and to show overall multiple team variations with Diluc. Making a video about it once I'm ready. I think he's just underrated. His AoE is great. His ultimate, people say it's negative that his ultimate pushes people back, but I don't think that's a problem at all at the moment. Because if you're having a strong Diluc, his ultimate will one-tap anyone who gets pushed back of the weaker enemies. That's just how it is. And the stronger enemies, the taller enemies that don't get pushed anyway, they don't get pushed, So you don't push them anyways away, so it's fine. And it has a lot of AoE assault. So I think he's underrated overall. Let me say these five are pretty similar. There's an argument for any of these to be on top of here. Everyone has their uh, thing they're better than the other ones. But I also think like the look, you can swap around with the look pretty easily. You can swap out. His ult has 100% uptime and low cost, so you can always swap around, use every character in your party without losing any damage. He doesn't take a lot of field time, That's also something great. Now next up, Eula. Boom. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Maybe people will hate me for this. Also, like I said, these three are pretty similar in strength. what you usually see is Eula next to Shao over Diluc and stuff. But I actually believe since the Raiden release, Eula got so much stronger. Raiden Shogun got rid of all of Eula's problems, you know. Her energy problems and her um, off time in your team, you know. Usually with Eula you had to use her burst and after that you had to get your cryo particles, you know, and during the time that you get your burst back up, you don't have much damage, you know, you're just trying to get her burst back up and then do a lot of damage with her burst again. But with Raiden, you do Eula burst, will deal a shit ton of damage, then you do Raiden burst, deal a shit ton of damage, and the room is cleared. Then you go next room, after Raiden's burst, Eula's burst back up, and you rotate it, or you switch it up, you do Raiden burst first, and then Eula, it doesn't matter. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a really strong combination if you have them, you know. And Eula is only up here because of Raiden. Raiden, also a character I have forgot to mention thus far, one of the strongest and also one of the characters that does something that others can't do, which is boost the energy recharge so hard. It's crazy. She deals a lot of damage as well. She's just so good, and I actually was convinced she will be good on her release. And also her damage numbers are great too. Even though people were trashing her for being an Electro. And Electro isn't even that bad. Like, Electro charge is really strong. And Superconduct can be useful as well. Also Superconduct, you know? You get Eula and Raiden also Superconducting them. So yeah, this is my explanation for Eula. Now we got to the hot stuff, you know? We get to the hot stuff. And I'm not talking about Eula's tights. Alright. Goru. I think he's gonna be somewhere here for Geo teams, but since he's only for Geo teams, he's gonna be in S tier. That's my opinion on Goru. I think he's gonna be extremely strong. And then next up, the juicy, cracked out of his mind Ito. You know, I believe that he will be an absolute stat checker of a unit since he's Geo. And I believe he will be a stat checker just like Shao, who has great scalings, or Eula. And I believe he's gonna be here or here at least. But I'm going to put him here, here. Because I think Geo will even get stronger with Dendro. That's my opinion. Maybe, yeah. Um, this is actually the tier list. I think we're done. I think we discussed everyone. We discussed, yeah. I like the aesthetics of lots of female characters. I like the aesthetics of lots of male characters more than others, but that's a whole different theme. Um, that's our other tier list. No, but what did I want to say? Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you agree. Or if you disagree, even better, write it in the comments, you know. I would love to see some critiques. Also, it's my first YouTube video, so if you have some ideas how to improve the YouTube videos and stuff, write it down in the comments. Like, subscribe, so I can kickstart this off. Like I said, I'm going to do lots of Genshin content, um, starting off with weekly content, and then I'll see from there. And yeah, what else can I say? I think that's it. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Also, comments will boost my algorithm of this video, so I wouldn't mind some comments. Anyways, I hope you have a great day and peace.